Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update or an insight into parts of the homestead, you know, like I mentioned on my last video, and I thought I'd do the barn today. So you may remember from the time I returned earlier in the year, I showed you my sister's VW Beetle, which is sitting just over there. And I thought, rather than going that way in the barn, we're going to go that way because it's quite an intriguing place and part of, you know, my childhood really. So I'm just going to try and take you beyond that wall there. Obviously it's a very overcast day today, it's actually raining, and there's no light in this barn at all, so I'm going to use the flash on the phone. But we're going to go up there into the eaves and also beyond here into this area here, which I believe was pigsties back in the day. So we bought the place in the 1970s, early 1970s as a family, and a number of us moved here. But before that time, it was a working farm. So I've got some really cool images, or my mother's got some really cool images of some photographs of the outside of the barn when this was a working farm. So I'll find those and maybe blend them in or show them a bit later on in the video. But for now, we're just gonna have a look around the barn. Okay, so firstly, before we go up this old rickety staircase, you know, just to give you an idea of the barn itself, it's a Tithe barn, a very, very old barn indeed. I can get some more information on it from my mum. She knows more about it than I do, but it's an amazing thing. Kent-beg tiles and the rafters, and the way it's put together is just phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful bit of engineering. And as a kid, I absolutely loved it. I used to spend quite a lot of time in here. It's where we used to keep the tractor, and we used to keep our car in here as well. But yeah, so what we're going to do is just go through this mess here and go through into this even darker area here, which is, as I say, where the pigs used to be kept. So just turning on the flash on the camera, and yeah, essentially, I mean, it's in quite a bad state of repair over there, but it's a very cool sort of section here. I don't know if I can zoom out. No, it just goes dark if I zoom out, so I'm gonna have to go to this setting here. Sorry, bear with me. And have a look around that way. So yeah, as I say, these are the bays. I believe they are pigsties, because just if you go out through that door there, and on the right hand side there's some exterior pigsties. They're all overgrown now. In fact, we can go out there. Let me just see what we can see. Oops, tripping over stuff here. And yeah, if you go out, no, they're actually this side, that's it. So if you go this side, yeah, you can't really see much, but under here are external pigsties. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. So, as I said, an amazing roof, all Kent-beg tiles. And anyway, let's go back in here, back into the dry. And there's some holes in the floor up here, but largely it's pretty dry at this end. This is the back wall for the upstairs. I'll have to get you some more information on actually what happened in this barn. But essentially, beyond that wall there in the main open part of the barn, that's where the threshing machine was. And and you remember from my workshop, that's where the engine shed was, which is over the street there. So not the street, but it's literally about 20 meters that way. So the engine shed had the engine in it, and then drove the threshing machine, which was in this part of the barn, through great big shafts that ran underneath the road and up through to the barn. So incredible stuff. And at some point I'll do another video on my workshop, because, you know, the engine shed, because that in itself is a really, really interesting building. But anyway, carrying on here. Not much else to see really, apart from, you know, the state of it. And what would be really interesting is to sort of delve around in all this, under all this timber here, just to see what's actually here, because there are certain hidden gems, like the old electrics. Look at this, look, old Bakelite electric switches, if that would focus. Obviously the power is long gone, but some really cool things. Oh, there's a light bulb up there, and the old lampshades here. But this part of the barn has just not been touched since the 70s. You know, it's my dad's polytunnel. We had 2 polytunnels back in the day. One he put up and one just remained in here. And we used to grow our own tomatoes and stuff like that. Old bird nests up there. But just a really, really cool place. What kind of a floor has it got? It's got a brick floor. You can see, yeah, the bricks. And then at stages there are sort of dugouts in the bricks. I don't know what they would have been for. But yeah. I remember from when I was a kid, it looked pretty much like this with a whole bunch of stuff in this part, and these are the stalls here. I'm guessing for, it looks like cattle because they're quite big, but I think maybe actually pigs. And you can see the sort of the steel parts in the partitions here, and this is the fencing, I guess, which goes in between them. And this has been sitting here since, you know, we bought the place back in the 1970s, early 70s, and it's just, this part of the barn has just always remained completely, well, you can't see anything if I do that, but completely untouched. And I love it. It's really cool. And like I said, you know, when I was younger, there were all the prizes of the livestock pinned up against this beam here. And I thought I'd come back to have a quick look to see if I could film any of them, but realised that they've all fallen down or disappeared. So I was thinking, oh no, somebody's taken them off. There's a little rosette left there as the only one. But as I started looking down on the ground, which is damp, I started finding, you know, in the dust, like the upturned, the prize cards, all turned on their faces, as it were, and they've all got like blue or yellow backing, which was really cool. So I started having a look around, and I managed to find quite a few of them. So I've been very, very careful because they're damp and very dirty. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to preserve these because this is a real part of this barn's history, and you know, dry them out first of all, and then brush them lightly with a paintbrush. And I'm going to go around see if I can find any more. God knows what this is. This is a kitchen, part of a kitchen. Some louvered. What's this here? No. I'm going to go around. I think I might have found most of them, because the thing is, there's a bunch of tiles in here, which look like the upturned certificates. But I'll keep looking. There you go. Annual show 1959, East Kent Fat Stock Show and Sale Association, Pig Class 15, third prize. Oops. And they have all fallen down from that beam along there. When I was young, they were all along there, pinned up. So I'm just doing some more investigation work to see what I can see. You can see here, I presume that is an old, because there's a tap here. I've never seen this tap before, with some old sacking, sort of lagging. It's got old baler twine here, and it's literally been hanging here since this was a farm, right up until the early 70s. What's that there? Quite a nice bottle. It's a very unusual shape, stuck in the wall. Let me put that over here. I'm going to put a collection point there. But yeah, nice old brass tap there, and some ancient baler twine. And I'm thinking here, this must be the thing to hold, the bracket to hold the hose. What's this here? Little peg or something. Let me put that over here with my bottle. Oh, look at this. It's like a strap of some sort. Look at that, an old leather strap. That's phenomenal. I wonder what that would have been for. If anybody knows, maybe, I don't know, something to do with pigs, because there are obviously a lot of pigs here. But if somebody knows what that strap might have been for, that would be very interesting. Okay, just hidden right round this corner is an old fire extinguisher as well. What does that say? Water type, soda acid to operate, turn upside down. After discharge, the extinguisher must be washed out carefully with fresh water using at least 2 changes. Recharge at least every 2 years. And what's the L&G Fire Appliance Company Limited? How cool is that? It's rust holes in there. And oh, I look at that in the daylight, but there's some more writing on there. Wow, how cool. I'm going to move that round into the light. Here's a little bottle here. It's probably some old medicine or something. Got to be careful for the pigs. Yeah, look, I just found another one of those certificates, which is in bits, but I'm going to try and preserve as many as I can because they're just so cool. Let's put that on the pile. Clean those off later. But yeah, you can see here on this one, there's like a separating part here with half rounds, which is pretty cool. Don't know why they would have put that up, but it's quite nice looking. No. What else can we see in here? There's just so many things in the dust and the dirt, which are just very cool. Some of it's original, some of it's been put here by various family members over the years. But yeah, it's just a shame it's so dark in here. The old walls here, cladding. It's a little mouse hole which has been covered up by some tin here, or a rat hole. It's quite big, but that tin's already been also sort of come away. I don't know what this raised area was here. It'd be interesting to find out what that was. It's very strange. There's one, well, sort of over the other side. I always thought it might have been a lift to go up, which would stand to reason. There's sort of something strange over here. I don't know. Maybe we'll go upstairs and have a look around up there to see what's up. Just going underneath that little raised area. Maybe what we can see in there, some old, what's that there? Oh, it's interesting. Look at that. It's like an old floor cleaner. How funny. It's been under there for absolutely hundreds of years, no doubt. It's all falling apart, but it's like a floor cleaner, like a Hoover. Otherwise, under here, not much, some old rusted cans. I tell you though, if we got under there and started sifting through the mess, old fertilizer bag there, I'm sure we'd find some interesting things. There's a box under one of those tins. India sharpening stone. How cool is that? I wonder how old that is. I'm going to put that with the other bits over here. So this is quite an interesting wall arrangement here, which is again in these, this bay area. And I think actually they didn't use these for pigs, they used them for sheep, the segregation during lambing, but this is also built up because I think they might have kept a horse in here. Anyway, on this wall here, I think this is potentially a holder for a fire extinguisher. There's a slightly smaller hook here. One of the nice light switches with a chocolate wrapper in there at the back. But also I found this on the floor, which, yeah, I don't know what that is. It looks like a bicycle tire lever, but I'm sure it's not that. But I'm just going to put that back up there. But also another one of these bottle top looking type things, but they're clearly not bottle openers because there's one by the main door as well. So if anybody knows what this is, that'd be interesting to know. I was also just rooting around by this stable door here, and it was sort of poking out the dirt, so I cleaned it up a little bit, and it's an old Victorian, or later, I don't really know, drain cover, or not cover, but grate. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to go up these very steep and very rickety stairs. So if you hear a loud crash, this is probably really stupid actually, shortly before Christmas. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, now we have to be really careful because as you can see the floor is buggered over there. And this is the hole, which I thought might have been a lift of some sort. And that's the stairs I just came up. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff up here. The roof's in all right condition over there, but you can see holes there. And the beams, we're up in the beams now, you see. Really amazing structure. Some old furniture up here. Now I'm just gonna have to very carefully go around here without going through the floor. Is that gonna happen? Looking good. Old sewing machine there. Yeah, I mean, over the years, things have just been put up here. More holes in the floor here. Nice and dangerous. But it's all made up into bays, you see? All made up into very similar sized bays, which might have been a hayloft or goodness knows what. So, same thing here. I can't really zoom out with this lighting, unfortunately, because the flash doesn't work. But let me just go through here. There's another little room at the end here, which is very, very badly damaged. Obviously the rain is coming through there. And what's behind the door here. You can see, absolutely amazing. I love this barn so much. There's a little wall here, and then it goes down that side on this staircase here. So very carefully going down this staircase here. It doesn't look too bad actually. A little bit lighter in here. But yeah, as you can see, a whole bunch of crap there. And I know where that came from. That's funny because that came from the swimming pool. I remember that being over in the swimming pool. You'll remember where we put the Land Rover at the beginning of the restoration in 2015. That is a leaf collector for the swimming pool patio. So I can't really remember why it ended up over here, but again, similar story in terms of the structure. Quite bad damage on that wall there. But this is, you know, this is being separated here. I don't know what they used to keep here. Probably livestock, really. I know they had sheep and pigs here. Well, that's just a box. But yeah, there's just remnants of storage here, really. Nothing of particular interest. It's quite dry down here. What's going on over here? Is this just old electrics? There's like wire here. I suppose that's to keep the birds out. I don't know. Or from the hay from falling down. But oh, my breath is clouding the view. So yeah, a couple of quite sturdy gates here as well. You can see with like a strengthening bar over the top. What's it say here? It's got some numbers. 41322. I think they're maths. 8279 and the number underneath. But these are quite sturdy. And look, you can see the old light switches again. These are very cool light switches. The old Bakelite light switches. It'd be nice to take these off actually, with the metal trunking going all the way to the light switch, to the bulb. What else have we got down in here? It's corrugated iron wall panel there. That's interesting. See if there's any goodies in the dust here. As I say, this has just not been used since it was used as a farm in the 70s, 60s and 70s. Some more writing on the walls here. There's some more, what does that say there? Don't want to disturb it too much. 1.5, 3 ton, 12 ton. They're just numbers, weights here. It's very cool. Different numbers here. What's that there? W1. Goodness knows, I don't know. But you can see the layout here. Essentially what they've done is they've clad the wall in wood, and then they've done corrugated iron towards the base. There's another circled number there as well. This whole wall is full of numbers, which is interesting. What does that say there? Here's writing. Hang on. Oh, and look, here's some... Yeah, there's lots of old writing here. And I can't really see what it says. Yeah, there's some written here. Sacks, that says. 107 sacks. And there's more. This is all in lead pencil here, written on the walls. But what this white writing says, I can't tell you anymore. It's too dark in here. Something there. But all writing from the old farmer or the old shepherd, I'm guessing. But yeah, that's... So I'm blinded by my own flashlight, but it's the only way in here. So that's this little area, and I'm just thinking where to go next. Maybe that might be it for the barn. I'll walk back through the way I came and see if there's anything else I can show you. I just found a really cool bottle, again, in the wall of the barn, just over there. And it's quite a nice old bottle. I don't know how old it is, but it's still got a cork in it. And it's still got some liquid in it. I wonder what that is. And it says on here, WM. W and M. And there's the remnants of a thing there. Don't know what W and M would have been back then. I'm sure it's quite possible to find out. It's quite a nice shaped bottle. Another bottle in the wall. Seems to be quite a common feature. Oh, look at that. There's even an old... What does that say? Chlora... something. I don't know enough about farm chemicals to be able to read that, but there's definitely something there, and it's an incredibly old bottle. Look at that. It's interesting. The most sorts of things are in these gaps between the walls. So you've got the panelling on the wall, and then the back of the wall, and in here that's where I found those bottles. But there's something down in there which I'm going to get out. So God knows what that is. It's a little brush on one end, a little bristle brush, and a little handle of some sort on the other end. And it's made out of wood, but it's a very distinct, quite nicely shaped peg style brush. And if any of you know what that might be, that would be interesting to know. But again, found it in the gap between the wall. This is the wall that keeps giving. I just found a little tool in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's broken at the top, which is why I guess it's been chucked into the wall cavity. But it's like a little pick, like a shaped pick. Quite big. That's my hand, you see. Quite interesting. So I wonder what that would have been used for back in the day. And the last thing I've just pulled out of there is this, whatever this might be. It's, I don't know, a shaped piece of metal. So calling all farmers watching this channel, if there are any retired farmers from the 1960s, what might this thing be? You see what the farmers have done here for some extra insulation. They've just stuffed old sacking in the eaves here. It also gives you an idea of, you know, the makeup of this barn. Absolutely amazing. Look at those joints. I don't know a huge amount about woodwork, but absolutely amazing how this thing has been built. I believe what they did, and so I've heard, is they would build these massive A-frames flat on the ground and then just lift each one up as they go. And they built it that way. Have a look, what's this? Yeah, old rope here. Look at that rope. That's amazing. That rope is so rotten that it's just like dust when you touch it. Yeah. It's quite interesting up here. There's an old repair which has been done using this huge, let me just make sure I don't go through the floor here, using this huge beam which has just been laid. It's probably an old ship's beam or something because it's so curved. Look at that. That's amazing. Let me see if I can go around this way. Look at the end of it. Any holes in the floor here? This is it, look. It's been laid on this cross beam here and tied in with a huge bracket, but you can just see how it must have been an old ship's beam because of the curvature. Oh, there's an old anorak down there. That's interesting. that goes from there, curves all the way down, then goes round to there. And you can see how they've built off of it, presumably to support these beams here. Amazing. Just looking up there as well, there's some beams stored in the rafters there, very strange. Repair works over the years. The old lights. Look how old this beam is. It's just like, I've got up on something and looking at it from the top. It's just hundreds and hundreds of years old. A couple of other things I found here in a different lean-to. Big horseshoe here. I mean, that's massive. That looks to me like it's from a Shire horse. And I remember when I was a kid there were quite a few of those around. And this is quite nice. I don't know really what that is and where it came from. Some kind of a moulding. Maybe it's a, what does it say there? Number 17 it says there. So maybe it's like I mean, it's been broken, the casting's broken, but maybe it's like, I don't know, a grate to a fire or something. So this is the part of the barn which got destroyed by fire about 30 odd years ago, and you can see the line shaft at the back there, which would have taken the drive from the engine shed over there underneath the track, which is now just wilderness. And this would have been, I think, 90 degrees to its current position, and there is a big foundation, I'm guessing for another steam engine in the barn itself. You can see here the studs. I should measure those actually. Studs in all four corners. Where's the other one? There, to support whatever it was supporting. But I'm just going to have a rummage around to see if I can see anything else. But you can see that line shaft wheel or pulley is smashed when it obviously came down in the fire.